Think scaling AI is hard? Think again. With Watson X, you can deploy AI across any environment. Above the clouds, helping pilots navigate flights, and on lots of clouds, helping employees automate tasks. On-prem, so designers can access proprietary data, and on the edge, so remote bank tellers can assist customers. Watson X works anywhere, so you can scale AI everywhere. Learn more at ibm.com/WatsonX. IBM. Let's create.
Other realtors have vacant homes. At Pest Properties, ours come occupied and ready to invest. Looking to relocate your larvae? Try the Petri Residence. This rustic home features thousands of crevices to squirm in through, vaulted ceilings for our wall crawlers, and an outdoor bird bath teeming with mosquito eggs. So kick up your 6 hairy legs and sign today.
Before pests move in, Terminix it. With over 95 years of experience, we'll help keep your home off the pest market. Visit Terminix.com today.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Hi guys, welcome back to 80/20. It is so good to chat with you today. I'm feeling super cozy right now. I'm recording in my new-ish office. If you guys watch my YouTube channel, you know that I actually switched my office and my bedroom because I needed a bigger office space for something that we will talk about in a later different episode. But it's like pouring rain outside. I have my candles lit. I have my little lamp on cute little mood lighting. And I'm finally sitting down to record this week's only episode of the podcast. I feel like these past few days I've really been the embodiment of the quote, "If you see me less, I'm doing more." That's really kind of just been my mantra over the past few days. I've taken an unofficial social media detox. I didn't even mean to stop posting for a week. I didn't mean to also not have a podcast up on Monday. I really just needed to fill my own cup before I could give anything else to others. And you guys know I'm a big believer in resting before you burn out because I've been there, I've done that, and I know the signs and symptoms of burnout, and I know what I need to do in order to prevent myself from getting to that bad point. And so I think it was Saturday or something. I was just so preoccupied with fun things in my life that I just forgot to post. And then Sunday came and I didn't post anything on Instagram and I haven't posted anything on YouTube. I wasn't vlogging. I wasn't podcast recording. And Monday came and I was like, oh shoot, I really need to record an episode for Monday. And it was Monday. And I was like, you know what, today's Labor Day. I just want to spend time with my family. I had a lot of schoolwork I needed to do. I was really stressed about school. I have a vlog going up probably either at the end of this week or maybe early next week, where I kind of talk to you guys about how I've really been feeling. But something that I just don't like to do on the podcast is just unload all my baggage on here, because it's very, very easy to do that. But when I show up to this space, when I show up in your speakers, the last thing I want to do to you is unload all my shit, all my baggage onto you. And if a podcast episode is going to be like that, I will just not record it. If my content's going to be like that, I won't post anything. I've been doing more things that I need to do for myself, for my own mental health, for the health of those around me, for my friends, for my family, and for my business as well. So that's kind of a brief, very cryptic sounding way of saying that I've just been busy these past few days with things that don't really involve social media, that more involve me and my personal life. And that's totally okay. So let this please serve as a reminder that we are all human. We are all imperfect people trying to pretend like we're perfect. You don't have to keep pretending anymore. Take a step back if you need it. If you're to that point, if you're almost to that point, take a step back, rest, relax, refresh, and come back better. Come back better than you were before. So today, I am happy to tell you guys that I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I don't need to unpack my emotional baggage onto you. So that's a good thing, because I know when you guys turn on the podcast, you don't want to hear that. I don't like to hear that when I turn on other people's podcasts. I turn off podcasts or radio talk shows or TV shows if they're just complaining with no end in sight. I don't like the bitching. I don't like the drama. I don't do it. I don't like it. And I don't like to bring that here to this space either. So I refuse to post anything that reflects that. I make it a non-negotiable that I show up to this space for you in the best version of me today that I have. And if she's not all there, if she's not all in, she's not coming at all. So in addition to filling my own cup, I've been working on some really cool things. And once again, I kind of tease this a little bit. I tease something in the vlog that I'm posting either end of this week or early next week. And you guys are going to be really, really pumped to see what this thing is. It's one of many projects that I've been working on over the past months, weeks, etc. So if you see me less, I'm doing more. I've promised you guys for a while that there's stuff in the queue, and it is finally bubbling up to the surface, and I just cannot wait for you guys to see what is just around the bend. Only a few more weeks until we have this tangible item for you to wear. And that's all I'm going to say. Also, wanted to put the call out there one more time. I'm still looking for an assistant. If you guys listened to last week's episode or kept up on the vlogs, which I am vlogging more again. So if you're interested to see what either like I look like or what I do on a day-to-day basis, the vlogs are a great place to connect with me in that way. I am looking for an assistant. I'm calling it the creative and administrative assistant because there are administrative tasks that I would love to have you doing, but there's also a huge creative portion of this position, and I have a lot of ideas that I feel like I can't follow up on without expanding my team. So if you live in the Ocean City area, Salisbury, Berlin, even up in Delaware, like Ocean View, Bethany, Fenwick, Lewis, Rehoboth, those areas, please send me a DM and I would love to tell you more about the position. I also have a post up on my Instagram page, which is at Lily Rako. It's linked in the show notes. I really do need this person to be local to me. At first I was like, maybe I could do like a virtual assistant thing, but like, no, like I need someone to be here. And I also can't really teach you things that I need you to do from like a computer screen. Like I need someone in person so I can be able to first off like connect with you and like see if we can vibe. And then because I'm very big on like energy, and if you bring good energy into the room, that's something that I can pick up on very, very quickly. And like I need to also be able to know that I can trust you. There's just a lot of like very sensitive information that you might be dealing with, and you know, clients and stuff, that's a huge confidentiality thing, and just a lot of the stuff I really don't feel comfortable just doing all virtual. And also a big part of it is going to be like physically packing and shipping merchandise. So actually all of the applicants that I've gotten have been people saying that they would love to do it, but they don't live in my community and that they would have to be virtual. And I've gotten some really, really cool applicants. So huge shout out to whoever's been connecting with me, because I've been able to meet some really, really cool people just through hiring for this position, but no one has been local. So if you are local to me, if you listen to the show, I'm looking for a gal who is preferably my age or like around my age, who can connect with people our age. And my like main demographic is like 20 to 28-ish. So someone who's kind of like in their 20s and just living the life of being a 20-something who's also passionate about health and wellness and passionate about helping people better themselves. So if that sounds like you and sounds like something that you want to be a part of and a company that you want to be a part of, let me know, hit me up, because I would love to connect with you. Second little announcement, admin thing, whatever. I feel like these past few weeks I've been kind of like shaking things up a little bit. So sorry if there's like all these different announcements, or if you're listening to these episodes like out of order and you're just trying to like keep up and be like, wait, what's going on? I thought that she said one thing last week and a new thing this week. But if you have been listening to the episodes in order, I was talking a little bit about Little Circle and how I'm not really sure if I like the platform, blah, blah, blah. And I've officially decided to house the journal prompts on my website. And this is a big change, because if you've been using Little Circle and you've been enjoying Little Circle, I guess it's not even really that big of a change, except for the fact that it's like a different URL. Like, you're still going to get the same journal prompts and you can still comment on it on my website. Like, I have the comments on for blog posts. And the only like real difference is that it's not inside of like a private group. And I've tried the private group thing, and I just don't think that it's necessarily like what I wanted it to be. I'm the type of person that like really craves like real human connection, and I feel like I've spent a lot of time searching for that over the past year, and I've come to the conclusion that it doesn't happen between a screen. And it's really like sad to say that, because my entire life has been through a screen. I run my business through a screen. This isn't necessarily through a screen. This is through a speaker. I feel like it's a very different vibe, because you can like literally hear my tone of voice. It's kind of similar to having a conversation in a way, but written communication through a screen takes out so many important elements of connection and communication. And I've spent a lot of time studying this in my own life, and also like I've written essays and papers about this and stuff. And I just really don't think, and no matter how much we supplement social media and online forums and blogs for real human connection, nothing compares to the real deal of being face to face to someone. So I am constantly looking for ways that I can improve this experience. I definitely think that my next like Lily Raco Health like big thing will definitely have to be some sort of jump to be able to do things in person. So whether this is like an event or like a conference, or even just taking clients face to face and maybe getting some sort of office space, like I don't really know what this looks like, but it's just something that I've been really thinking about lately. And I don't know, long story short, I kind of created Little Circle as a place for people to connect, but I just don't think that that is it. I don't think that it is. And so I'm going to slowly like phase out that platform. I'm going to slowly add the blog posts that are inside of Little Circle onto my website, and the journal prompts back onto my website. And that can kind of be a hub for all things Lily Raco Health, but I don't really like having two different platforms when one of them isn't really doing what I want it to do, you know? So that is kind of, I guess, an update and a conclusion on the Little Circle debacle of if we should keep it or not. So I hope that that is okay with you. I actually announced this announcement in my newsletter that went out on Monday. So if you're not signed up for that, I highly recommend that you go sign up. You can click the link in the show notes that says sign me up for the newsletter, and that will tell you everything that you need to know about signing up for the newsletter. It's super easy. You just put your email in and you just patiently wait for Monday at 8 a.m. when you get a little Monday mail drop from Lily Raco Health in your inbox. And it's a tip of the week. It is a link to all journal prompts for the week. It's an update on the podcast for the week. It's a quote from a Lily Raco Health client, and it is a link to one of my resources. So that is what is in the newsletter. I'm thinking about new little tidbits to throw in there and sprinkle in there as well. So that sounds like something that you would like in your inbox. Go ahead and click that link in the show notes. Commitment is always going to be greater than motivation. And in today's episode, I guess the practical part of today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 simple steps to stay on track and aligned with your goals. And this is something that is way easier said than done. So obviously I'm going to roll through my 4 steps, kind of give you guys some examples to help you visualize what exactly I mean by these steps and how you can implement them into your life and to your goals. But I think something that's really, really important to remember is like we can talk about this all day long, but it doesn't work unless you do. Like your goals, your dreams don't work unless you do. So you have to be your number one fan. You have to be your number one coach. You have to be your number one accountability partner, because no one is going to do this work for you. That's where a lot of people get confused. They think, okay, like I've made the vision board. I know what my goal is. Why isn't it happening? You have to get after it. If you feel inclined, now's a good time to grab a notepad or just like take notes on your phone or simply just listen. Like obviously if you're driving, just enjoy the audio, and so let's go ahead and get on into it. We talk a lot on the show about how commitment is always going to be greater than motivation, because one of the number one questions that I get asked is, how do I stay motivated? And my best advice to people who ask me, how do I stay motivated, is shift the language. Because motivation is fleeting. You're not always going to be motivated. You're not always going to feel like today's the day that you're going to achieve all your wildest dreams, right? That motivation feeling comes on quick and it leaves you even quicker. But committing to your goals, saying, I'm doing this even on the hard days, even on the days when I don't feel motivated, I'm committed. That's when real change happens. So step number 1 is to find your why. And another theme on the show is that we always talk about the why. What's the real reason behind why you're doing what you're doing? Why do you want to achieve this goal? What does this goal mean to you? What would your life look like if you achieved this goal? A lot of people tend to skip this step because a lot of the focus is put on what the future holds rather than kind of meeting yourself where you are now. And so finding your why doesn't have to be this like big elaborate thing. I mean, it very well can be. You can write a whole, 10-page paper on what you hope your life looks like when you achieve this goal. But it could also just be a few sentences like, I want to start eating healthier so I can feel better. Or I want to get good grades so I can get into my dream grad school. Or I want to get this internship, because it could segue me into some really cool networking connections. So really narrowing down your focus and figuring out why you're doing what you're doing is incredibly important. And if you don't know really why you're doing what you're doing, or if you don't even know what you're doing, I guess finding the what is more important than finding the why. So if you can't even find the what, maybe vision board. Take some magazines, like go to Barnes & Noble, go to Target, buy some magazines that catch your eye off the shelf. And this is vision boarding the old-fashioned way, like before Pinterest was a thing. My mom would always run these vision board workshops when I was a little girl, and she would have her clients come over, or they would meet in, they would meet in the gym, or they would meet in like some event space, and they would all bring magazines, and there'd be just stacks and stacks of hundreds of magazines, and they would all get it was probably a little bit bigger than 8x11. I want to say maybe, I don't know the dimensions, so I don't want to butcher it, but they would get these canvases, and they would cut out the magazine pictures that caught their eye. It was kind of like scrapbooking in a way. It's like scrapbooking your dream life. And they would Mod Podge the magazine cutouts that they liked onto these canvases. And I remember she did one for girls my age, and I was probably 6 or 7 at the time. And it was so fun because as little girls, you just dream about so much. And I feel like we kind of like lose that sparkle as we get older. But it's so incredibly important to just sit down and just dream. Like if you could have anything in the world, what would it look like? And flipping through magazines or scrolling through Pinterest even is so helpful, because you might get some idea that you never would have gotten otherwise. So maybe vision board, set up your own vision board workshop. Or would you guys like if I hosted a vision board workshop? A little Kelly Rako moment? I don't know, I feel like that could be really fun. I was like up all night last night thinking about some cool event that I could host in person because I miss that human connection so much, like we talked about at the beginning of this episode. But I just want to spend time with you guys so freaking bad. And I don't know the best avenue to do that. And I also don't know if people would come to like my hometown. Like I might have to go to like some like bigger city. I feel like Nashville's kind of fun because that's like kind of not central, but almost central, I feel like. And I feel like there are a lot of really fun people in Nashville too that we could have come like pair up. I don't know, maybe that's something that I'll work on. But seriously, DM me if you would be interested in coming to an event, or like if you'd be willing to like travel to an event. Let me know, because I'm so sick and tired of Zoom, guys. Like I love meeting with my clients on Zoom, but I just miss that human connection. Like I feel like we could have such different experience if we were face to face. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you would want some sort of workshop or a weekend event. I don't know. I was talking to my friend Emmanuel the other day and we're like, we should rent like a beach house and do an event. I don't know. Please let me know what you guys would be willing to do. And also like how much you'd be willing to spend, because that is an important aspect of it as well. Because like if you do an event, obviously it's not dirt cheap. So I don't know. Let me know where you guys are at with that. If you're ready for something like that. I'm ready for something like that. I think it'd be really sick. Step number 2 is to learn about your goal. A lot of us have these big dreams and we don't know what it's actually like to live out those big dreams. So say you want to start working in investment banking in New York City. This is something that I know nothing about, and I have a friend who's going into this field and he was telling me all about it one time, and I was so intrigued. I was like, this is such a crazy life that you're about to live, and I had no idea. So if you want to start working in investment banking, Google what a good starting place for that might be like. What major do you need to major in? Do you need to go to grad school? Do you need to take some type of internship? Do you need to take some type of certification exam? What does a day in the life of an investment banker look like? Is that something that you want? Google it. Like seriously, take notes or jot down a couple main points. Find some names of people. I don't know, I go on LinkedIn all the time and like stalk people that have my dream jobs, and I'm kind of like, okay, what are you up to? Who are you connected with? Do you know anybody that I might be connected with? How can we connect? In like a networking, like professional way, obviously. And just like research what these people did to get them to where they are now. And not like stalker research, but just kind of like a general idea, like, okay, this person went to this school, they majored in this, they worked at this company, worked their way up, whatever. See what you find out. Step number 3 is to create an action plan. And then don't be freaking scared to implement it. So you got your why, you've done your research, you know what a day in the life of whoever looks like: investment banker, professional singer, professional athlete, fitness instructor, teacher, whatever you dream about doing. Maybe it isn't even a career. I'm taking this kind of like the career path, but maybe it's like a project that you want to work on, or maybe it's a goal with a relationship. Create an action plan, and these are step-by-step, super, super specific actions that you can take on a day-to-day basis, or a week-to-week basis, or a month-to-month basis, or a year-to-year basis that will get you even closer to where you want to be. So jot down what daily habits align with your goals. So picture your goal at the top of a mountain. What does a day in the life of you, the mountain climber, look like? Do you train really hard? Do you eat certain foods that bring you proper nutrition so you can have the energy to climb every single day? Do you read about new routes to take? Are you interested in learning more about that mountain's landscaping and geological makeup? Do you connect with like-minded people along the way? What's it going to take to get to the top? What can you do every single day to get you closer to that mountaintop? If this action plan does not light a fire under your ass, then you have the wrong goal. And okay, it's not always going to be fun. It's going to be really hard work. But if you don't find joy, if you don't find pleasure in the pain, lessons in the hard days, energy in the resistance, then this whole thing isn't going to last very long. And the action plan can be the hardest part or it can be the best part. Because when you finally achieve your goal of getting to the top of the mountain, don't you want to look back and be like, wow, the climb was great. I met some really cool people along the way. I learned some really hard lessons. But I'm such a better person now than I was when I started. That's what the action plan is all about. And step number 4 is to hold yourself accountable. Or you can find a friend to hold you accountable. But I think that creating checkpoints for yourself, so maybe like a mile marker of 6 weeks or 3 months or 6 months or even a year, just to check in. And maybe this is something that you build into your action plan. 6 weeks from now, I hope to be here. 3 months from now, I hope to be here. And when you hit those targets, check in. How are you doing? Does your action plan need to be adapted? Are you farther along than where you thought that you would be? And this will help you stay committed. And I think it's really important to glance in the rear view every now and then and see how far you've come. Because success doesn't happen overnight. And most successful people are just regular people until one day someone starts noticing that they're like doing cool shit. And then people call them an overnight success. But this hard work, this action plan, this research, this why is the buildup to that mountaintop. It's the climb. I've simplified these 4 steps. Find your why, learn about your goal, create an action plan, and hold yourself accountable. And I think it's really important, I guess a bonus step would be to celebrate your wins. Whether this is at your checkpoint or if this is when you finally get to the top of that mountain, celebrate. I'm talking confetti cannons, loud music. Surround yourself with all the people that helped lift you up to help get you to where you want to be, where you wanted to be, and now you're finally there. That's really freaking cool. And keep in mind too that it's okay to adapt your goals. And that's what your accountability is for. That's what your checkpoints are for. And oftentimes we surprise ourselves. Oftentimes we far surpass what we thought was capable in just 6 weeks or in just 3 months or in just a year. If you asked me a year ago where I wanted to be, I probably would have played small and I would not have said that 80/20 is about to hit 100,000 listens, lifetime downloads. I probably would have played small and told you that maybe I've been able to coach a couple women in my health coaching business. Maybe like I could count them on one hand. It's crazy because looking back over the past year, I would have never pictured myself where I am now because my goals were small. And I've far surpassed them so much quicker than I thought I ever would. So when you make these goals, don't play small. You are so wildly capable, and we do not give ourselves enough credit for that. So dream big. Shoot for the stars. Shoot for another freaking galaxy, if that's what it takes. But do not play small. And remember that commitment is always going to be greater than motivation. Every single day. Thank you so much for listening to this episode today. Thank you for trusting me along your path. I'm so forever grateful that I get to be a piece of this puzzle for you. I'm sending you so much love through the speakers today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of 80/20. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by dropping a rate and a review. This helps more people just like you find and listen to the show. Don't forget to follow me, Lily, on Instagram. My username is @LilyRakow. That's LILYRAKOW. And follow the podcast Instagram page as well, which is 8020pod. That's 8020pod on Instagram. New episodes of 80/20 go live every Monday and Thursday, or subscribe to stay up to date with the latest.